What's going on, miners? Chump Change XD here. Hope you're all staying healthy, having a great day. Today, we have Kaspa KS0. 7 of them have just arrived from UPS. So, I got to get these things unboxed. I got to make sure none of them are damaged. And then we got to plug them in and make sure they all work. So, what we're going to do in this video is get all of these working up with the other 2 on my HiveOS ASIC hub. And I'm also going to power all 9 of my units. I have 7 here and 2 more downstairs with a single 1200 watt server PSU. So, this should be super interesting. Let's unbox them. Man, cutting these open for the first time is always amazing, but it sucks one-handed. Every single time I try to cut something open, it's a total pain in the ass. Moment of truth, opening the first one, and then we'll just speed through getting all the rest open, but I want to see what they look like. Oh, is it upside down? I opened it upside down. Damn it. All right, it was upside down. I got the units without the PSUs, as you guys can tell. PSU would typically go there, but again, I'm running these off a single server 1200 watt PSU. There it is, IceRiver KS0 Pro. I totally thought that was painted on the side. It's actually just a sticker, so you can peel them off. But they did end up putting the seal on those screws now, which is kind of interesting. So I want to get the rest of these open, and then we're going to inspect them all, make sure everything is good to go, and then we'll start plugging them in. There we have it, all 7 unboxed, ready to go. These things actually look perfectly fine. No issues. Actually, huge shout out to IceRiver for padding these things properly so they cannot physically get damaged at all during shipping. But yeah, everything looks good. I think the only thing I'm actually going to end up doing is eventually take off both sides, like this end plate here and this end plate here, just to hopefully like have a fan blow some cool air through that way while they're kind of sitting like this or up on their side like this in the stands I have. I'm wondering if an additional fan kind of just blowing through it might help. So that is going to be on the list eventually, but right now we got to get these things all plugged in. We got to get them all hashing, and we got to get them up inside my ASIC hub. All right, kind of looks like a giant mess because it actually is. I need to find a permanent location for these, but as of right now, these are going to be heating my studio. So I got all the Ethernets plugged in. I just got them literally all running behind that wall to my network switch until I get that thing situated somewhere else. It's actually going to be going over there because I'm renovating my basement. If you guys can see everything over there, once again, making a bigger studio. I just need more room. So anyways, these are all going to be sitting here for now. We're going to get them all plugged in. I have the Ethernets all plugged into the backside of these guys, all up on their stands. I think they should be fine. I think they're separated enough to be able to cool themselves, but if we have any issues or see any issues, then we will obviously address it as we go. So I'm going to use these extenders. These are 16 gauge extenders, 6-pin by 6-pin. And then, as you guys know, the little barrel connectors by 6-pin off of this server PSU that is being monitored right there on the wall. As you guys could see, 188 watts right now. These are all my ETC-MC nodes up and running. So yeah, let's get these things plugged in. Let's start. I'm going to plug in these 2. We're going to get into the computer. I'm going to set them up, and then I'm just going to basically chain reaction all the way down, make sure everything's good, and then we will get into the computer and actually add these to the ASIC hub together. This is going to be the first one we're going to do. I just shut everything down. I don't have the other ones plugged in. I will just plug them in as I go because I could just literally lift it and pop it in now that it's plugged into the breakout board. So let's get, I guess these are the 2 originals that I had running, and then, you know, this one's going to fire up. I'm going to have to find the IP, get it situated to the pool, and then domino effect, and then we will again get into the ASIC hub. So let's see, hopefully we get a blue light. Yep, we got a blue light. Hell yeah. And we got internet, so let's get on it. All right, all of them except for that one is plugged in right now. We have that one coming online now. You can see right here, this is the reason I love Ubiquity. So if I scroll in, you can see all these other units, right? Like the KS05 right there, right? If I scroll around, I can find the new one that just added. It looks like it's just a MAC address of some sort, right? So you come over here, go to settings, I'll label it KS0 Pro, and then I will do a fixed IP so it'll never change and it'll always stay with this same local IP. I'll just copy this. I'll put this right up into the browser, paste it, enter, boom. That's why you do it one at a time. That way you don't confuse them and you can label them. I'm actually going to label all of these as well with my label maker. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then I have my 2 OGs right there. All right, we made it. Everything is up and hashing now. We're here looking at my KS0 OG, and then I have my KS0 Pro. This is my OG as well. These are the two that I already had here running. Now, these other 7, which is this one at 197, this one at 210, 203, 196, 214, 211, and 205. Those are the new ones, 1 through 7, basically. Now, I need to get these into my HiveOS, so I want to show you guys, like, I have, as you can see, my KS0 and my KS0 Pro, and these two were the OGs again, and I want to be able to see everything inside my HiveOS dashboard. It's just nice to see, right? So I want to go over to my virtual machine. This is my Unraid setup. I have my ASIC hub on a virtual machine inside Unraid. So this right here is the ASIC hub dashboard. This is where you add the individual devices to have them register in your farm, because it'll pull all the information from the local IP, because you're not putting any type of like HiveOS firmware onto these units, if that makes sense. Now, I do have a full tutorial guide on setting this ASIC hub up. I'll leave a link above if you guys are interested. Go check that out. Then you can add your devices. So what I'm going to do is continue to add my devices. Just going to choose that. Now I got to put in an IP here, which will be the one from this first one right here. It'll be the KS0 Pro 1, I believe. Now this is the IP. It's 192.168.0.154. So I need to type that in to my virtual machine, or ASIC hub rather, because I can't copy and paste, unfortunately. So what's kind of neat is I didn't realize that I could add an additional IP. So I think I'm going to put all 7 in here at the same time, and we'll see if we can register them all at once. All right, so I just added them all in here, and this is going to be a first for me. Hopefully this works. Let's just hit next. I'm assuming this is going to take a minute for it to actually find everything on my network. It takes a little bit for 1, so 7, it's got to be a bit longer. Wow, that was actually as fast as finding 1. It actually found all of them. All right, so now you got to put your farm hash in. Mine's blurred out right here, as you guys can see. I'm gonna hit next. All right, so now that they're all added, you can see they all have this same name, XJ, GXG, whatever. Anyways, you got to log into your HiveOS, right? We got to rename all these rigs. You can see they're missing a flight sheet, they're missing the name. It's just everything's the same. So we have to go through and get this all correct, right? It's weird because you're gonna have to set a flight sheet and then go back into the GUI and mess with it there and yada yada. So now I want to show you guys what you got to do here, right? So you can see that it says 2 of the fans are registering, and there's 2 fans that are warning fans not working. Well, guess what? This unit only has 2 fans, so we need to go change that in your settings. So click on settings right here. You're going to scroll down to, where is it? Right here, fan quantity. Change this number to 2, obviously, and then save it. So now a little trick right here. I'm outside of my VM. I'm actually doing this on my desktop, and I'm plugged into the same network as my IceRivers. So what I'm going to do is choose this IP right here. It'll bring me to the dashboard. I can scroll to the right and I can see that this is CCXD KS0 Pro 2. So I'm going to copy this name right here, go back to my HiveOS. Going to go into my settings. So now directly below your farm hash, you're going to see a spot for name. You're going to put the name in there, then update worker. Then I'm going to add my flight sheet. All right, so this right here is my flight sheet. I have coin, Kaspa, Tangem, wallet, right? I added my wallet, obviously. That's what you have to do to be able to get this to register. I chose Kaspa Pool because that's what I'm using inside the web GUI. And then ASIC miner is just an option there. So clicked on that, and you really don't have to touch any of this stuff. Just stay away from it because you do still control it from the web GUI. This is just to monitor it basically, but I think you can actually make changes here if I'm not mistaken, and it will apply to the pool. So now when you try to go back to the web GUI after you apply the flight sheet, you're going to see this. It's going to say it can't get it, and then it's going to reload. It might take a few minutes, so just wait. The unit is kind of rebooting. So now real quick, once I set the flight sheet, I come over here to the web GUI and I change this fan speed to 100% immediately, just because it always starts off super low. And then I just delete all of this other stuff because you don't need it. And you can leave the rest the same, your wallet and your stratum, nothing changes, and then just click save there, and you're good. Rinse and repeat. One last little trick, the wattage actually doesn't read from these things, so I'm putting 90 watts per unit with a 94% efficient power supply, right? And it will end up showing you 95.74 watts, which is just about where my units are. They're roughly about 96 watts, so it's good enough for me. Now let's be honest, how sick does this look with all of my Kaspa KS0s here? It's weird just having one square, but it's nice to see the wattage, to see the hash rate that each one of them are getting, and I can tell if any of these fall offline super easy directly from my phone. So that's like a huge plus. That's the reason I do it.
especially if you don't have Ubiquity. It's totally nice to be able to see each unit working properly because there's no screens on these things. You don't know. The fans will still run even if they're not actually working. So this is cool. And just note that this isn't free. The ASIC hub, I think they charge like $2 per ASIC, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on that. Go check. They have a whole pricing list. But yeah, I don't know. This is just worth it to me. So you guys can let me know if it is worth it to you down in the comments below.
So these have been up and mining for about 3 hours at this point. Again, you can see we are at 12.1 volts, just about off that Server PSU. And all 9 of those units are pulling 864.5 or 863 watts roughly. So honestly, everything looks fantastic. It doesn't feel too hot. I'm checking all the connectors. They all feel fine. I don't understand why they said that these things have to run off 19 volts when, to be honest, those two have been running for weeks off of 12 volts. But with that being said, I do think you guys should use quality cables, not so much these little connectors that I actually did myself. If you guys are interested in real cables that are 16 gauge done properly, go check out theveteranminer.com. Use code CCXD for 10% off.
So that's really going to do it, guys. Hopefully this ASIC hub thing actually helped you guys out, knowing that you can get these little KS0 Pros into your HiveOS and actually remote access it right through your phone. It's pretty cool for me. I think it's super convenient, but to each his own. Hopefully this helped you. Again, if you guys have any questions, just leave it down in the comments below and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And until next time, I'll catch you guys real soon. Peace out.